Welcome to AccountKit. In this session we're going to look at the tool settings for compliance tools. As a practice administrator, come down to your name down the bottom left hand side of the screen and select Practice Settings. Within Practice Settings we can see our various subject areas, on which today's video we're going to focus on Tool Settings, and within Tool Settings we're going to focus on the Compliance Tools. On the Compliance Tools page here, this allows us to name out each one of our tools and change our preferences as a practice for how we would like to interact with those tools. First, let's take a look at the amortization scheduler. The idea behind these settings is to establish a standard for the way that your amortization schedules will create themselves. So when I create one, I want it to be designed to be the way that we as a practice prefer to create our schedules. However, you can adjust any schedule one by one once it's generated to change any of these settings as needed. As you can see here, I have the first option toggled on, which is the ability to automatically post journals down to 0, where I've got the 0 connection established. I can account for current or non-current entries by toggling on my second option here, and this will allow you to select multiple accounts for current and non-current treatment so that journal posting can be adapted accordingly. We can account for unexpired amortization entries via the next toggle, and then underneath that we have show apportionment journals on cash basis reports. And this is a direct reflection of the cash basis reports option inside your Zero Blue file for that particular client. Last but not least, we also have the ability to utilize account default tax codes for allocation journals. And this allows you to grab the default tax code for the various accounts that you're selecting to post to for your journals. Within the amortization types, we as a practice can distinguish how we want to represent the various amortization tools that we want to generate, and whether they're an income or an expense amortization over time. By clicking Create New here, we can give it a simple name, select the type of whether it's an income or expense amortization, and then hit Create. As a standard, you will have the top 3 available here that come preset in your system, but feel free to create as many as you desire. Moving down to Div 7a, very simply there's only 2 options here. Would you like to show dividends and interest journals on cash basis reports? And again, this reflects the cash basis reports option within Zero Blue itself. And then would we like to project a Div 7a rate going forward? And you'll see there's a little question mark icon here, and this will just allow you to learn more information about the particular tool you've got there. So very quickly we can see that this is just an estimate if you want to use your own personal estimate, or you can go ahead and just use the standardized rate as set by the ATO and project that forward by deleting the element that we see here, and we will simply use the current rate set by the ATO to project forward. Next we'll jump down to Equipment Finance, and similar to the amortization scheduler, this one gives us options to select various items around the default setup of our schedules when we create them. Same as amortization, do we want to automatically post our journals down to 0 for each period? Do we want to account for unexpired interest? Would we like to account for current or non-current entries by default? Would we like to show journals on a cash basis report and interest journals on a cash basis report? And would we like to utilize the default tax codes for interest journals in the system? Jumping down to the franking account register, this one is quite simple in that it allows us to select the naming conventions for our franking account types. And this is really designed to ensure that people are selecting a standard information set when selecting things like income tax paid or dividends paid from the selection screen, keeping your system consistent. Finally, we jump down to Interentity Loan tool, and this again allows us to show journals on cash basis reports. And then most importantly, do we want to show the username in the journal narrations being pushed down to the 0 file for any journals that are posted? Note that you can see the history of who posted journals within AccountKit, so this is really only as a visual representation in the journal narrations within the ZeroBlue file itself. As mentioned at the beginning of this video, all of these tools will only be designed to create them by default as your practice preference, but once you are creating a schedule, let's say an existing one here, at any point in time you can come up to the top of that schedule and click the cogwheel or actions item here and change those settings according to that particular client's preference. And as you can see here with this particular setting, I've got it very different to the defaults that are set in the equipment finance schedule area that we just set up. Thank you.